everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to talk about something that's really been spiralling online, royal land ownership and what the Duchies of Cornwall and Lancaster actually charge public services like the NHS, schools and even the Ministry of Defence. So I came across this graphic someone sent me from TikTok and I've seen a lot of misinformation being thrown around, so let's break it down fact by fact because this whole landowner argument has gone way out of hand. And you'll see this with the Republic Party. They like to use these graphics and whatever to try and explain something that they yet again don't understand. So let me break this down fact by fact and actually get to the point of what this graphic is actually saying. Because this graphic does not look at the practicalities and the actual stuff behind it. Right, so first up we're going to talk about the NHS paid $11.4 million to the Duchy of Cornwall in property rent alone. Again, that is the only sentence that the Republics will actually read. They won't read any of the stuff underneath it and try and understand actually what is actually happening here. So let me explain it to them. Okay, so first up, the NHS pays $1.59 million per year to both duchy estates combined. That includes a 15-year lease worth $11.4 million to the Duchy of Lancaster for a warehouse to store ambulances in London. And $829,000 a year to the Duchy of Cornwall for a garage in the capital. Right, now compare that to the $360 million per year the NHS pays in rent to the government. Yes, the actual UK government, because most NHS properties are on land owned by agencies like NHS Property Service or the Government Property Agency. The average is about $100,000 per facility, and the NHS has around 3,600 buildings. So what the Not My King protesters are actually basically saying is they don't like the monarchy owning land, but their own government that they want as head of state is owning land and they're fine with it. Make it make sense, I just don't understand it. The royal family has every right to own land, just as the government does. So let's be real, the royal estates are not bleeding the NHS dry. The government charges more than 200 times what the duchies do. So yes, the royal family are better landowners than, say, the government. They charge a much fairer price than the government. Not only that, they support the organisations using their land as well, which the government basically don't do. I think the Republic Party in the UK also forget that the Prince and Princess of Wales are also patrons of the NHS charities, which means that they both pay a heck of a lot of money into the NHS. Meanwhile, instead of funding the NHS, the government is using the NHS's funding to send it to other sectors in the UK. That, may I say, do not need the funding as much as the NHS does in the UK right now. So if the Republic Party in the UK has a problem with NHS funding, they should go to the government, not the monarchy. And I've got to say that isn't even against the government. That is how land in the UK works. You know, land in the UK is rented, end of story. There's also talks about state schools being charged rent. The claim is that 6 state schools pay the Duchy of Cornwall £600,000 in total rent, or about £100,000 each annually. But that's about normal or even low compared to what schools pay to local councils and government landowners, especially under those awful PFI contracts. And here's a key update, the Duchy of Cornwall no longer charges charities on most schools at all, meanwhile government landowners still do. And again, that is nothing against the government, that is how the UK land law works. Anti-monarchists are also angry that the Ministry of Defence pays the Duchy to train on Dartmoor or use royal land. Yes, the Ministry of Defence pays, but let's talk scale. Since 2004, the Navy has paid just over £1 million total for mooring rights. That's about £55,000 a year, which is nothing compared to the £4.9 billion the Ministry of Defence spends every year maintaining its wider estate, including overseas bases and private contracts. Wind farm developers do pay the Duchy of Lancaster for cable routes through the foreshore. That's brought in around £28 million, but let's be clear, these are private companies, not the NHS or schools. The government does this too, though. In fact, the Crown Estate, which is also influenced by the royal family, made over £1 billion in recent offshore leasing deals. So it's standard practice, not scandalous. And yes, the duchies charge tolls for bridges, mining rights and river crossings. It brings in about £564,000 a year. But again, this is all commercial and the UK government makes billions from similar charges. In 1 year alone, £17 billion was made through natural resource rents and rights. Again, this is how the UK works. And again, if the anti-monarchists disagree with it, guess what? There's the door. So if anything, the Duchy of Cornwall and the Duchy of Lancaster are among the cheapest and fairest landlords in the UK. It's not some monarchy money grab, it's property law and they're following it fairly. While also supporting the initiatives, foundations, charities and businesses that are on their land. The anti-monarchists also forget that the monarchy literally gives millions to charities, foundations, school projects and loads more every year. So they aren't exactly taking it all for themselves, are they? Anyway, we hope this video was informative and we hope it stops some of the misconceptions being spread around online. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you are. We hope to see you in the next report. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye!